What did Pods take from you? I bet everyone in here is listing off a list of things: hobbies, friends, milestones, and so much more. I'm no different. Pods changed my life. Overnight, my life was completely taken by this cruel syndrome. I'm sure everyone here can relate. Even on my best days, I go to the store and I immediately look for the closest seat and restroom, just in case I feel that fainting episode coming on. Does anyone else just dread buffets? Just the other day, I was at an event and saw that they had a buffet. My fiance immediately knew that he'd be holding 2 plates. There are many other things that I started to dread: stairs, traveling, working, school, social interaction, and so much more. All of these things slowly were taken away from me by my illness. I'm sure some of you have been thinking, well, she's healthier than me, or my symptoms are way worse, etc., etc. But I want to stress to you how sick I really was. I lost the ability to feed myself, to stand up even for a couple seconds. And then I lost the ability to sit up. My parents would have to hold the straw up to my mouth just so I could keep getting fluids. I lost everything. I want you to understand how sick I really was because I want you to realize how far my therapy and hard work has taken me. And I hope that you all can reach similar goals that I have. The reason I wanted to speak today was not to sit and cry about how sick we are or what we have lost. Everyone here knows what we have lost. But how many of us really know what we have gained? This is a story of hope, and I really hope that it gives each one of you, patients, family, friends, doctors, hope that this is not what our lives are meant to be forever. It took me a long time to change my mindset, but I do believe that it's possible. POTS took so much away from me. There's no hiding that fact. But at the time, I didn't realize how much I was gaining by this illness. Real quick, I want to tell you about my background. My story really has 2 beginnings. The first beginning when I was 14 years old. After a series of serious digestive issues and a diagnosis then of mono and sphincter of Oddi dysfunction, I spent 2 years trying to figure out what was happening, while I still just wasn't recovering. 2 years felt like a lifetime, but I later found out that I was fairly lucky to get a diagnosis in only 2 years. Finally, in 2008, I got the diagnosis of POTS at Mayo Clinic. I was more relieved than anything, that there was a reason to why I was feeling the way that I was. I was actually their most impressive tilt table test, meaning my heart rate was so far off the grid that they wanted to put me back down just to be safe. That's the accomplishment every teenager wants to hear, right? But after following their exercise program and medications prescribed, I regained control over my health. Sure, I'd have occasional POTS days where I was dizzy, nauseous, brain fogged, etc., but overall I was doing great. I went to college and participated in all that goes along with the college life. I got a degree in nursing, and after graduation I even landed my dream job. I was officially a NICU nurse. Well, for 2 months. Then my second beginning, which is what I really want to stress on today. I should have known now that I look back in hindsight that a 12-hour night shift would probably not be good for my health. The disruption of sleep, diet, circadian rhythm, etc., and throw in a stomach virus and welcome back POTS times 10. This is my second beginning. Oh, it's just the flu, I'll get over it. Oh, it's just a bad POTS day, weekend, then week. Finally, I give in to how I was feeling. I was scared to keep asking off of work, especially as a new nurse. I was scared that the doctors would tell me that I couldn't work night shift. I was scared to give in to what I already knew, that my POTS was back, but this time, full force. I couldn't walk. Some days I couldn't sit up without my heart rate reaching 200 beats per minute. I suffered with nausea, fainting, headaches, palpitations, tremors, weight loss, and severe fatigue. I was referred back to Mayo Clinic, but this time in a wheelchair. After several tests, I was sat down and again told, "You are the classic POTS patient." I knew this. I felt defeated. Will this be my life forever? A constant battle with my physical and mental health? I broke down once again. I wanted to work. I wanted to be a wife and a mom someday. I wanted to run. I wanted to walk. I wanted to go out with my friends. I wanted to celebrate birthdays and other occasions. I wanted to simply live. And I was being told what I already knew, that my POTS was in the driver's seat and we weren't headed anywhere that my dreams wanted to take me. I had my pity party. I cried. A lot. Every single day, actually, for 8 months. My lowest moment was when I was so weak my parents ended up moving my mattress into the family room next to the bathroom in hopes that I could crawl there by myself. Some independence, right? My younger brother was visiting from college and I was mortified. I couldn't make it. I crawled on my hands and knees, and then that became too hard, so I tried scooting with my elbows, and soon those gave out too. I laid face first in the family room carpet and just screamed and cried. I was done. My body was failing me. And then I read something that changed my life. And if you get anything from this speech today, I really want you to listen to the second part. Why this story is a story of hope, and why I'm up here able to stand and tell my story. This was my favorite quote. Courage does not always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. And I did. I tried again. Yesterday, tomorrow, the day after that, and I am still trying. I believe half my battle, along with most other patients, is half physical, half mental. And I don't mean what all the doctors told you once, that it's all in your head. I mean that when we are so sick, it's really hard, nearly impossible to wake up every day wanting to even try to do anything. I decided that if my body was going to fail me, I would not give up mentally. And it did not happen overnight. It happened over a long, long course. Some days I still battle with it today. But I want to emphasize how important it is. My counselor encouraged me to start a goals journal. I thought this was dumb. Funny almost. My goals? I didn't have any anymore. My goals were simply taken away from me. But she really kept urging me to try it, so heck, what did I have to lose? This is actually a picture that I took of my journal. And the picture on the right is the first day that I made it down the driveway by myself, which was a big accomplishment. And that's where I started. As you can see, some days it was as little as sitting up in a chair for 5 to 10 minutes. Some days a little more, some days a little less. I did start realizing I was doing a couple things. I even made it out to dinner once or twice. Granted, that left me in the bed the next couple days, but I was getting out and socializing. Although short-lived, I would enjoy my time. I started to do more little things than I thought would help me. My family all sent me their favorite inspirational quote, and I filled my entire wall of my bedroom with quotes. I woke up every day to these. To start your day with a positive attitude was crucial to my recovery. I also had a Jack and Jill bathroom with my older sister, but when she moved out, we slowly turned that into my POTS Journey therapy room. My parents purchased a bike and rowing machine at a garage sale, and I put them in there. I also put a ton of waters and salty snacks. I put up a poster board where I would write what I accomplished every day to keep me accountable. Some days it would be bike for 5 minutes. Some days I couldn't get out of bed, so I'd just do leg exercises. But either way, I was doing something. I had a bulletin board of different exercises to do laying down and what I wanted to complete each week. And this was my favorite part of my little recovery, was my punching bag. I printed off the symptoms that I struggled from the most: lightheaded, brain fog, headache, fatigue, nausea, anxiety, and many more. I placed them on different areas of the bags. Some days I would just go in there and just screaming with tears down my face, punching it as hard as I could. But you know what? It helped. I needed a healthy way to let out my anger towards my illness. Sometimes these painful times can teach us lessons that we didn't even think we needed to know. I slowly started to see progress, and very slowly. I'd take 1 step forward, 3 steps back, some weeks and most weeks. But the most important part was to keep going. It's a really slow process, but quitting doesn't speed it up. I never stopped. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop, and that I found is the key to this illness. We get stuck in this rut that's kind of like, well, if I can't do this, why keep trying? This is my life now, just accept it and never strive for more. I was there. I sat there, had a pity party. But I realized that I was meant to do more. We're given one life, only one life. And these are the circumstances that we were all dealt with. That we can't change, but we can change our attitude towards them and know that we are capable of more. I slowly started to regain some control over my life. First, it was little things. Staying home for a couple hours when no one's there, then driving 5 minutes down the road and back, going to lunch, walking the dog. Very minuscule things, but at the time, those were my milestones. Not my birthday or my first job or my new apartment. Those things weren't possible at the time. But I grieved my losses and then I focused on my little gains. Slowly but surely, my little gains turned into big gains. I drive. I moved out of my parents' house. Although they are great, this was a big step. I work. I'm a full-time pediatric nurse, but not in the hospital doing night shift anymore. I do home care where I can take breaks and sit and make my own schedule. I'm a better nurse because of being the patient so many times. We learn patience, pain, and determination at such a young age compared to most. We are lucky. And this is the way that I found that I get to share my gift. So I hope you can find a way to share your gift also. I regained aspects back of my life I never knew I would get again. I have some terrible days. Just the other day, my fiance had pretty much hold my head up because I was so weak from a long work day. But I found someone that makes it work. He knows he's in charge of breakfast because us Potsies feel worse in the morning. He knows after I do a hard workout, I need to lay down and have fluids and salty foods. And if I hear one more time, Jordan, the shower is too hot, you don't want to feel bad all day. But what I am stressing is that you do find a new normal. Everyone can do it, no matter how sick you are. You surround yourself with people who understand or want to understand, who are patient, optimistic, and unconditional. Not only my efforts got me here, I would not be here without the support of friends and family. The days that you don't want to get out of bed, do it for them. And lastly, and most importantly, I was inspired for you guys to be up here. I do not do public speaking, especially speaking about something so emotional. But you are who gave me the courage to be here. Looking out today, I see so many Jordans. I was you, just last year. And I had someone talk to me like I am to you today, and it gave me hope. Something us Podsies don't get too often. My hope for you all is that you don't let your illness define you, but to let your strength and your courage. I'm thankful for my struggle because without it, I wouldn't have stumbled across this strength. Owning our story and loving ourselves through it is the bravest thing that we will ever do. So you all, stay strong because your story isn't over.